Good morning, beautiful, beautiful, courageous ones. This is Brenda Tsiaousis, and we are live on day number 5. Oh, I'm out of breath. I have just run up my stairs to go and get some press stick or blue tack, as you may know it. I've actually just blue tacked my phone to my glyph because it keeps on flopping over. So there we go. It's a little bit bright in here this morning. I'm trying to see if I can get the lighting right. So how are you all this morning? I seem to be very bright, so I'm just going to stand up and just... There we go. That's a little bit better. Let's just do this just for a little bit of light. There we go. Okay, that's still very light. Anyway, how are you all this morning? So good to see you, yeah, and we are on day number 5. Day number 5 is halfway through the challenge, which means that you have been working extremely and very hard. Hello! Not 100% sure who it is that's online at the moment. I can't quite see. Nothing yet, and I'm really trying to sort out this glare, so maybe if I can just move. Hi, Camille. How are you doing? That's good to see you all here this morning. There we go. That seems to be a bit better if I move my thing. I don't want to look like an alien. No aliens for me at the moment. There we go. Perfect. So it's good to see you all here this morning, and I hope that you've been enjoying every single one of these daily activities. I know that I have, and I know that I have been really and truly just reading every single one of your comments. I just want to acknowledge you. I think that it is amazing to see you working through each and every single one of these and coming up with your insights and then sharing them in the group. I know that through you sharing these things in the group, everybody else is really getting the aha moments as well, because it's through us sharing and sharing our own experiences that something else comes up for another person as well. Now, I have my cup of tea ready here with me as well. Did you bring the biscuits? I hope so, because I'm a big biscuit fan. And just totally off topic, last year I changed my eating habits to become more paleo-like, so actually something called banting, where I cut out all carbs and just have a very high fat, so it's an LCHF program, high fat and very, very, very little carbs. I think less than 50 grams of carbs a day, and then protein. And I lost quite a bit of weight last year, and in December at Christmas time, oh yeah, I'll blame it on Christmas, I just went overboard and just everything that I could see put in my mouth. And since then, I've picked up those 5 kilograms again, and so I've not been able to shake them. So I need to go back to my healthy eating habits, and one of the things that I absolutely love is biscuits. I love biscuits, especially when I'm having tea. So, no biscuits for me today, but I hope that you have biscuits with your tea. So, there we go. All right, so we're on day number 5, and today we're going to be looking at affirmations. And I don't know whether you've received your email yet. I'm hoping you have. But if you open up the email, there is an audio which I've attached for you. It's an audio with about between 300 and 400 different affirmations spoken out that can really affirm who you are, laid over or laid beneath some beautiful, beautiful music. Now, I love that piece, and I had it specially created by somebody in Canada for me. I was on edge because the first one that I actually created, I used some music that had binaural beats in it, and contacted the company to find out whether I could actually license it and use it for commercial use, only to be told no. So I don't know if you know Mind Value. Well, I actually used their music and then contacted them to find out if I could license it and use it for commercial purposes, and they said I couldn't. So I had to strip the whole audio and all of the affirmations out of it, and I got Stephen from Canada to redo the whole thing with me using another piece of music which I've now licensed and allowed to use commercially. So it's been a big learning curve for me as well. But I created this because I wanted something for myself as well. But I also wanted something for other women to use where they didn't have to physically sit down and read the affirmations to themselves, even though that is good as well. And I suggest that if you do have an affirmation, you write it out on a sticky note and stick it all over, so that wherever you're going, you're constantly reaffirming your identity and who you are, the strengths and the beautiful, courageous person that you are. Because as I've said before, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. So please download that piece of music. I'd love to hear what you think about it, okay? And whether you're using it or not, it's incredible. I have 2 versions of it, so I've given you the one with the lower voice in it. You may just hear slight whispers of his voice every now and again. It's still, he is busy. You know, all the affirmations that I created, which were amazing, I sent through to him, and he's done the recording. This will eventually become one of my paid products, so it's going to go up onto my website under a paid product as well. Please don't share it with anybody. If you do know of somebody that would love that recording as well, send them to my website, to my products page, and let them purchase it, because every time you support me, I'm able to have a cup of coffee, support my family, and do the things that I love as well, and the causes that I love. So let's support each other by doing that. All right, so affirmations. And before we get to affirmations, so there's something that's really important, and this is not going to be a whole long hour chat, because actually affirmations, this part is actually quite short. So if you have anything to share, I'd love you to post it below the comments, and I'd also love you just to share your insights or anything else that may have come up, or any questions that you may have. Post them below. If you're watching the recording, you're more than welcome to post it below as well. I do come back and I will answer the questions that are available or at the bottom of this video. All right. I've also been receiving some fantastic messages. I heard someone suggest making your affirmations into a song that you can sing. My brain spends so much time singing advertising. Oh, that's amazing. That would be amazing. Do you know there's a guy called Robin Sharma, Michelle? No, not Robin Sharma. He's a South African guy. His name's also Robin. He goes around speaking. He trained up under Paul Young. No, not, what is it? I think it was something to do with your thoughts. In any case, he's gone around the world traveling and sharing these things. And what he's done is he created an affirmation because he wanted to become an international speaker. And I took that affirmation of his one day and I kept it for myself. And it's actually built on a beat. It is something like that. Can't quite remember it. But when I do, I'll actually post it at the bottom of here. But he rhymes it. And in the rhyming, if you say it, it becomes almost like addictive. You can't stop. It gets stuck in your brain and you just keep on saying it open. I'm light, I'm bright, I'm something, whatever. I'm light, and he creates all of these things. It's like really amazing. Well, that's the sort of tune. If you know what I mean. But anyway, that's what he does, and that's fantastic. But this specific one is 29 minutes, 30 minutes in any case. And what you can do is while you're working on your laptop, or while you are lying in your bed or reading a book, plug it in and listen to it, because it is subliminal. So you won't be able to hear the words that he's saying. It is used, the music that I've chosen is especially adapted for this type of thing. So what it will do is it will definitely open up the places that needs to be opened up. Yeah, is it the one that says, this is a great money attraction song to dance to? Is it the one that says, I love money, or money loves me, or something like that? I think I've seen that one on YouTube, but I'll go and have a look again. That's good. Keep on sharing, guys. This is awesome. So I really hope that you like these affirmations. The music is beautiful. It is pure, and it is very serene. So you may even feel yourself just drifting off, or really and truly becoming trance-like when you listen to that music. So even if you're doing it while you are doing your computer work and stuff like that, just plug it in and keep on listening to it. It is incredible stuff. So why do we have to have affirmations? Well, simply because when we reaffirm ourselves, what we're doing as well is we are replacing those negative thoughts with something positive. Now, we know that if we are entertaining negative thoughts, at the time that we had the thought in our mind, there is no room for everything else. And we tend to start to think on the thought that we have just brought into our mind. I think it is Napoleon Hill who mentions something in his book, Think and Grow Rich, that if you can hold on to a thought for 17 seconds or longer, you actually start manifesting whatever it is that you're thinking about into your life. Now, to me, that was terrifying and very scary. And I thought, oh my good heavens, I definitely don't want to manifest whatever it was that I was holding on to in my mind at that moment. So that made me become very conscious about the fact that I need to control my thoughts. I need to, put a guard in front of my thoughts and put a guard in front of my mouth. And instead of me speaking those negative thoughts as well, which means that you're really and truly bringing it into the world, I decided to, where the thought is coming in, to put a stop to it and replace it with something else. Now, what do you replace it with? You actually replace it with something that's more positive, a reframed belief or an affirmation. So, and this is great. Now, while we're on affirmations, I also read an article the other day. Actually, matter of fact, I read a book, and it was actually in the book. I can't remember the book's title at the moment, where they talk about, and you'll see that I've actually put the American Navy's creed on the website and in the workbook as well. Because what happens when these youngsters, these 18, 19, and 20-year-olds sign up to go to the army, they go in with a preconceived idea of what they think the army is all about. But we know that when they go into this army, they can't go in there with the things that they've always been doing, because they'll get shot and killed instantaneously. So the army first has to undo and then redo and re-imprint their new identity. They don't ever tell these guys what they're what's happening out there. What they do in the first couple of months is they put them through intense training, almost breaking them down. And I'm not saying that that's what we need to do, but this is what they've done. Breaking them down totally and getting them to be able to trust in each other, work together, affirm themselves, establish their identity as US Marine soldiers. And so the creed starts off with, I am an American soldier. Their identity lies in the word I am. So immediately in their minds, they associate and they become that thing that they have put after I am. I am is one of the most powerful words that we can use. In coaching, we taught as well that anything after the word I am becomes reality. So if we say, oh, I'm so disorganized today, guess what happens? You tend to become more disorganized that day. Oh, I'm so all over the show. Well, guess what? Yes, you're going to become all over the show because you've just thought it and then you've just professed it. Why would you want to do that? So basically, it's to be really conscious of the thought and then choose that positive thought, that affirmation in, and keep on saying it over and over and over again. The unconscious mind really cannot tell between reality and non-reality. So it will accept whatever it is that you feed it if you feed it that thing enough. It's the same as when I spoke to, you're welcome. I think Judith is putting a comment, I'm not quite sure where. So what happens really and truly is that we form new neurological pathways. So our brain is formed with all of these little pathways in it, and through habitual use of doing the same thing over and over and over again, we cause a habit and we cause an ingrained pathway in our brain. So these are just like synapses that come together and then they join, and that with prolonged use or prolonged constant reinforcement, that little piece becomes like an ingrained little pathway. So just think of it as you walking through a field of corn or a field of wheat. If you walk through it once, you may just be able to, if you're looking at it from the top, you may be able to see a light little trail of where it is that you've perhaps walked through. But go and walk through on that same spot over and over and over again. What eventually happens is the wheat gets trampled at the bottom and the sides start parting. So when you look down at it again, what you're actually seeing is a total path that you've created in the wheat field. Well, that's exactly how your brain works. So when we do create this pathway, we want to make sure that it really has something good. We want to put good stuff in there so that can become a habit in our life. And we use affirmations to do this. Okay, there are other techniques obviously as well, but affirmations is one of these things. Visualization techniques can be another. So that is why affirmations are so important. So the activity for you to do today, and while we're there, is just to print the worksheet. All it really is a few blank pages with an instruction on it and some space for you to go out there and write at least 50 to 100 affirmations. And gosh, you're probably thinking, she's crazy. 50 to 100. How am I ever going to come up with that? Well, you know what? It is easy. It is easy to come up with 100. I actually created a blog post about it. It's on my website where I've come up with quite a few affirmations. But even these affirmations that you'll be listening to on the audio, There are more than 300 of them. So, you know, I'm quite happy to actually send you the sheet as well, the document where all of these affirmations are written down. And if you want to have a look at those and adopt some of those as well and make them real life for you instead of just listening to them, you're welcome to do that as well. Just let me know in the comments below and I will whip up that sheet for you and you can have those affirmations as well. But, where was I going? So the activity that you'll be doing is to write down 50 to 100 affirmations. Once you've written down those affirmations, read them out to yourself aloud. Because remember, we take in things through different ways. Some people take things in visually, some take things in by feeling, some take things in by hearing. You know, we have all of these different ways of a perceptions in any case of how we filter in information. But one thing is that if you're reading it, okay, and you're writing it and you're actually hearing it, it reinforces it even more, which is fantastic, okay? So the thing is, what you really want to do then is after that, you want to go and take those statements and then say, I can. So you're going to write 20 or 50 I can statements. What are the things that you can do, okay? When you write those I can statements, it builds up the belief muscle within you that you are actually capable of doing this. And what we want to do is we want that belief muscle strong enough because that is the certainty and confident part of it. When you're going out there to attract your clients can sense whether you're feeling nervous, uncomfortable, believe in yourself, lack self-esteem, or anything like that. And so a belief in yourself is very important because when you're speaking to your client, you want that energetic level to come across as, I am the expert, I know what I'm speaking about, I am certain, because that is what they'll feel. I'll just, you know, if I forget, just remind me something about a sales conversation that I can tell you about right now to help you to keep your energy levels up in any case. Camille says, I'm in flow. I'm adding massive value consistently. I'm attracting the right clients always. My income is constantly increasing. I am in my power. I am in flow. I'm grateful for everything in my life every single day. That is an absolutely powerful, beautiful affirmation, Camille. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm sure anybody else that would like to, you know, take that, if it fits in with what it is that you're doing, you know, use part of these things as your affirmation as well. I'm sure Camille won't mind. Thank you for sharing that. Another thing that you can do to be able to create great affirmations for yourself as well is to use a I think there's something like Animoto. So Animoto, and there's another one on my phone. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's called Magisto. I'll make the notes of these and I'll pop it down a little bit later. Let me just make a conscious note of that. So the video creation. So what you can do is Animoto especially allows you to make 30-second videos, and 30 seconds is quite long for nothing. You can also then go into the paid version and pay $5, I think it is, to make a 2 or a 3 or a 5 minute video. So what you can do is you can actually make a scrolling vision board, and you take photos of everything that's on your vision board. And I don't know if you've seen my vision board, but I'll pick it up here for you right now. It's up against my wall. There we go. Okay, and if I try and see if I can go closer to it, you can have a look and see all the things that are important to me. Okay, many of the things. So, for example, where is it? You know, my spirituality is very, very important for me. You know, I'm creative. I'm an author. That's because I'm busy writing a book at the moment. My favorite perfume, of which I've just manifested 2 of these bottles. I mean, I absolutely love, this is my favorite perfume, J'adore. These are things that happen, you know. A trip back to South Africa, because I'm really dying to get back to South Africa to go and visit my parents. What is it? What else is there? The income that oops. Gosh, totally off goodie over here. My business, more efficient, more systemized, more disciplined, more profit. You know, Telstra Businesswoman of the Awards. I would love to be nominated for the Telstra Businesswoman of the Awards next year. And I know nominations are open at the moment. That is one of my goals. I've just been nominated for, you know, business excellence in the Australian Mompreneur Awards. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to going up to Melbourne next weekend because that's when the awards are being held. So can you see how you can use these affirmations? You can put them on a vision board like I have, and you can also use Animoto to take these images, pop them up, but you can also write text in them. So when you press play, what happens is that you're adding music, you're adding the visuals, you're adding the text, and you can hear and see this flashing across your screen, which is incredible. I know Mind Movies also has a Mind Movie app, which you can use. It is a paid app, so that you can also use to make beautiful, beautiful mind movies to watch about how you would like your business to be, or how you would like to have your life to be. Michelle says, this one is from Tony Robbins that I love. God's wealth is circulating in my life. It flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met, for I'm one with God, and God is everything. Absolutely. I've got that one as well. I love that one. It is beautiful. It really and truly is, because of course everything comes from source. Everything comes from your creator. Now for me, that's God. You know, I believe in God, and I believe that everything that I do is for his glory, and everything, you know, even this program has been created because I have been spiritually tapped into giving and serving as much as I can from the bottom of my heart. And so this is how this program came about. I don't know whether I would have done it if I didn't have that strength and that faith, you know, that I have through my own spirituality. I'm just going to move back. Just don't know how to get this very bad glare away. There we go. And now it's telling me my connection is weak. Oh, not winning with technology in this place. There we go. Maybe that will be fine. I don't know. If it bugs you, just let me know, and I'll try and switch on a light or something. Let's see if I switch on this light. All right, so it says my connection is weak again. I'm really living in the wrong house. This is evidence for me that I need to go and buy my own home now. It's time for my own home, guys. All right, so that is affirmations for you, all right, is to be able to create these every day and then just keep on reinforcing them, which is really and truly very important in our sales conversations that we have with clients when we get them on the line. So if you have a product or a program that requires you to have a discovery call with somebody first, I really and truly suggest that before you even jump onto the you know, your call, that you really and truly get yourself into a position where you are feeling strong on the inside, because what's going on the inside directly reflects on the outside. And what often happens is we go into our calls unprepared, okay, and at a certain energetic level. But when it comes time to ask for the sale, what happens is our energy just takes a dip slightly, because something unconscious might come up like, oh, what if they say no? Or what if they come up with an objection? The minute that happens, or what if I can't deliver? What if I'm not good enough and they don't see the value in the program? Do you know what happens is you immediately start reflecting your own personal stuff onto them, and they reflect it back at you with what? An objection, or a question that you possibly can't answer, or whatever it is. So you want to keep your energy level high, and you want to maintain your posture throughout that sales conversation, and you want to give from you, because when you give from this place of just being 100% authentic, it makes the sales conversation effortless. It really and truly does. It means that you don't have to work as hard in that sales conversation, because that's all it is. It's a conversation where you're uncovering and identifying a need, and then you're posing your service or your product as a solution to solve that need. And it's an invitation for that person to be able to you know, work with you so that you can help them to achieve their goals. When you stand in that value, all right, and that person feels that certainty within you, it automatically you know, helps them to make that unconscious decision in their mind that they know that you know what you're speaking about. So does that make sense? That's good. All right, so once you've done the I can statements, you're going to go into the I will statements, okay? Now the I will determines your behavior. It doesn't help us saying I am, but we don't take any action. Okay, so the I will determines that action. And if you look at the creed, well, last night I actually got all teary-eyed reading the American, you know, that creed, and I actually read it aloud to my husband. I think that the fact is, when you create these statements, make them with action steps that are concrete, okay? Because then that will determine your behavior. Then once you're done with all of that stuff, create your own creed. Take your own and make your own little, PDF, whatever it is, and stick it somewhere that it reminds you every single day of what it is that you stand for, what it is that you're working for, what it is that you're getting out of bed for, what it is that you're doing, what you're doing, why it is that you're doing this, okay? Because that is going to be able to be something that you can look at and feel stronger every time you read it as well. One of the things that I wanted to touch on today as well is the concept of forgiveness. Do you know that for us to be able to move on, we actually need to let go and forgive what we've held on to, because we've actually held on to it. So the fact is that everything that you've done, and even your beliefs, even though they could have been imposed on you by other people, or you could have adopted them yourself, the fact is you've had a choice to let them go or not. Okay, you're holding on to it. And if you're still holding on to it, it's because somewhere you're choosing to hold on to it because it gives you secondary gain. That's fine, Camille. Have a fantastic day. It gives you secondary gain. Now, the fact is, when you identify what that secondary gain is, you can start changing that as well and find something else that will give you the same feeling, the same experience, the same result, the same sense of achievement as what it was. So you're just replacing it basically with something that's better. Now, forgiveness is very important in terms of saying sorry to yourself for, number one, holding on to these things that aren't serving you any longer, and also for forgiving other people and things in your life that may have inadvertently, superimposed their thoughts or their beliefs on you. They could have done it because they just want to love you and they just want to protect you and they just, think that they have your best interests at heart. So it could be somebody like a parent, or an uncle or an aunt or school teacher. And they don't do it because they want to harm you in any way. They don't come walking into the room thinking, oh, today I'm going to go and impose a belief on Brenda. And you know what? It's going to be one of these bad beliefs because I'm going to do it because I want to keep her safe and I want to protect her. They don't think that at all. Okay, all they're doing is they're sharing from their knowledge. They're doing the best that they can with what they have at that specific moment. So we need to forgive them. We need to release them as well. But we also need to forgive ourselves because we need to start with a clean slate. And when we forgive ourselves, we just lay whatever it is on the table and we just speak it out and we just say, please forgive me. Forgive me for holding on to these thoughts that don't serve me. Forgive me for wanting to stay trapped in that same old stinking thinking. It isn't conducive to me or to anybody else. The three ecological questions that we normally ask is it good for me? Is it good for others? And is it good for the greater good? If you can't answer yes to any of those questions, then it's time to let that thing go. Okay, because why would you want to hold on to something that's not good for you, not good for others, and not good for the greater good? So let's release. So I would say, and this is the woo-woo part of it, in any case, because I'm a big believer of forgiveness. And the fact is, I think that for you to be able to move forward, you've got to constantly clean that slate. You've got to take that whiteboard and you've got to rub everything out that's not serving you on it, and you start off new, afresh every single day. Forgiveness isn't just a once-off thing. This is a conscious daily thing where you relook and see, is there anything in my life that is harmful? If there's anything in my life that's non-serving, is there anything that's holding me back from perhaps a word that I've spoken harshly or a belief that I may have imposed over my children or anything like that? Ask for forgiveness and let it go and forgive. If there's anybody that's done anything to you, let it go and forgive. There's nothing worse than holding on to a grudge. There is nothing worse than holding on to, if somebody's done something to you, all right, you're going to hold that cup of poison and you're going to sip on it all day long, hoping that they're going to die, because it's never going to happen, okay? At the end of the day, you're the one that's dying inside. You're the one that's holding on to that cup of poison. Isn't it time you released it? So these are very important things, and I'm very, very serious about it. Jamie Lee, I am a practicing Christian, so for me, forgiveness is directly connected with my own spirituality and my faith. I'm a Pentecostal Christian, and so for me, I actually have gone through many programs. Actually, one of them is over here, and I'll show you. It's called, it's a book called Steps to Freedom in Christ, and what it is, there are some very beautiful little things like resolving anxiety, what else is there? Steps to overcoming your fear, analyzing your fear under God's authority, What else is there? Let's see if there's one here. Seeking the forgiveness of others. And so, it'll give, give reasons for what is the motivation for forgiveness. Why do we want to seek forgiveness? Well, we first got to figure out what it is that we could have done wrong. Okay. Then, make sure that you've forgiven that person. So for me, I pray, and all I do is I just say, God, you know what? And I name the thing that I've done. So for example, if I'm holding on to, and I'll give you a good example because I did this last week. Okay. So, I did this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was looking for the beliefs in my life that I had chosen to hold on to that I perhaps wasn't aware of. One of them was the fact that I felt like, and this is from my own personal life, and so I'll share it with you as well, and you can just get to know me a little bit better, was the fact that I've been holding on to things like, I always have to work so much harder than everybody else, okay, and everybody else seems to get things so easily. And I thought, where did that come from? Because I was brushing my teeth and suddenly it popped into my brain. It took me back to when I was young, and I identified that belief. Then driving in the car one day, I was having a telephone call with my beautiful sister-in-law. And as I was speaking to her, I could hear that she really wasn't listening to me, okay? And when somebody's busy on the other side and you know that they're actually browsing the internet and you know that they're actually having a conversation, or you can hear the keys as you're busy talking to them, or you just know. Something inside you just says, guess what? You know what? That person's full attention isn't with me. Well, when this happened, okay, and I realized that she wasn't really listening to me, immediately the belief that I formed was, nobody ever listens to me. What I have to say is unimportant. Okay, can you believe it? I mean, here I am, a trainer, facilitator, qualified coach, and I had that belief. And so, I had that belief. And that what popped up, and I thought, great. She was the trigger. She's not the one that caused it. Okay, she was the trigger to help me identify that specific belief. Where did this come from? It took me back right down to my younger years. Every single time I asked my dad to listen to me or to share a story with me, he'd tell me either he couldn't do it right now, he was too busy, or it was that, stop back-chatting me, Brenda. What you have to say is not important. Nobody wants to hear that right now, okay? Keep it to yourself. If you've got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. And so throughout my life, I formed these beliefs that, you know what, nothing that I say people wants to listen to, which was ridiculous because I'm a speaker, really and truly. So I've reframed that whole belief system of mine. But I had to repent of that specific belief because I was holding on to it. For the past 5 years, I have been aware of that belief, okay? I just became even more aware of it when she was on the telephone with me that specific day. But more than 5 years ago, I had already identified that belief, but I didn't do anything to change it. I didn't ask for forgiveness for me holding on to that belief. Because why? It was keeping me safe. As long as I was thinking in my mind, okay, that nobody would listen to me, okay, nothing that I had to say was of value, what was I not doing? I was not putting myself out fully to the marketplace. I was not communicating my message or my value enough. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even standing in my value at all at that specific stage, okay? So that stopped me. There was an excuse for me to being courageous enough to step out and to create my programs and to be more visible online. Also, it stopped me because from that, I have done numerous speaking courses with really some of the best speaker trainers in the world. And every time I would go there and this little thought would pop up in my mind, what did it stop me from doing? Stopped me from getting on stage and sharing my message with the world. I eventually almost, thank heavens I didn't, started believing that I was a terrible speaker and that that's just not what I'm meant to be doing. Well, that's absolute rubbish because you know what? In my faith, that is all it is. It's something trying to stop you from achieving your destiny, what you're purposed to do on this earth. Okay, what it is that I'm meant to do. And I know that I'm supposed to be traveling the world speaking because I have a message to share and the message is an important one. So basically, when I uncovered that specific belief, all I did is I went and sat down in a very quiet place. I named the belief, so I journaled about it. So I have my journal. Okay, it's my very beautiful little journal. All right, and I think if I look over here, trying to find it, I took my words and I journaled about it, and then I said, you know, God, I don't want to hold on to this stuff anymore. It's no longer serving me, all right? It is no longer helping me to be the person that I really and truly am created to be. I know that I have a purpose in this life to fulfill. And if I continue to hold on to this belief that I'm a poor speaker, or that nobody will listen to me, or that my message is not valuable, how will I ever go out there and be able to touch people's lives where transformation can take place through the information that I get to share? Forgive me for holding on to this thought. I renounce it right now, and I declare that in its place, I believe that I am a courageous, strong, confident speaker, that I have a transformational message that I share with the world with conviction and boldness. In your name, amen. And that's all I did. And then I stood on that I have already let it go, and I didn't pick it up again. Now, I can't show you my phone, unfortunately, because I'm on it. But I have reminders set up on my phone that go off every hour on the hour, okay? And I have this message, this little affirmation, which is part of all of that stuff, I've set up 2 years ago on my phone. And it says, I have a transformational message that I deliver with conviction and boldness. And you know what? Every single time that message comes up, it's a reminder to me that there is no place for that limiting thought that I have held on to, that I have released it and let it go, that I've asked for forgiveness, and in its place, I have something new, and I have certainty. And I've trusted that that is true. You know, so often we can go say, okay, I'll let it go. But you know what happens? We go back and fetch that stuff again, and we just pile it back on. You know what? It takes habit to, it takes, what's the word? It takes practice. It takes consistency every single day to keep on practicing the new habit. Because after all, an affirmation, a new belief becomes a new habit when you do it over and over and over again. So I hope that makes sense in answering your question. You know, I've answered it in terms of my own experience. Whatever it may be for you, okay, you may need to go and sit down and do it as well. It could be as simple as, I've heard that there's the Ho'oponopono, which is a simple three sentence phrase, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. Simple. And I know that Denise Duffield-Thomas, she often uses that, and she shares that as well. If that works for you, go ahead and use it. You know, obviously each person will use it in their own specific way, but find a way where you feel comfortable with just letting go and asking for forgiveness for those things that are holding, or that you've held on to, that no longer serve you, and then replace it with your affirmations. As I've mentioned in the in the website is the recording. It is something that I've created specifically for you. It's valued at $47. Please don't share it with anybody else. It is my gift to you. Love it. Listen to it. It has more than 300 and something affirmations subliminally imposed into that music over there. It is beautiful. And I'd love to know what you think of it when you do listen to it as well. You can listen to it while you're sleeping. You can listen to it while you're working. It is very, very nice to listen to. All right. So once you've done all of those activities, all right, you can celebrate. Replacing with affirmations is great. It is definitely. I mean, you know, I love affirmations, and I put them on my phone to remind me. You know, I put them as my passwords. I choose them as my passwords. I write them down. I have them on my vision board next to my, next to my desk. I have them in the audio that I've created, because why? The more we do something, the easier it becomes. Remember, you can also practice the wrong thing. So make sure that you've checked in and that you are practicing the correct thing as well. So we've come to the end of day number 5. Day number 5 is all about you celebrating you. Yes, that is that. 4 sentences. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and I thank you. That is it. Simple and easy. Just do that, and you'll feel that, you feel so much lighter at the end of the period. So what we're going to do next is our next 5 days starts on Monday the 8th. Okay, so for those of you who are in Australia, it'll be Monday the 8th. Your next lesson, day 6, will go out at 5 o'clock in the morning. For those of you that are in the US or the UK, it'll be the night before. So you'll get your information the night before, which is the Sunday evening. I've taken this weekend as a break specifically because I think that there still needs integration to take place, and all the things that you're working for. Remember, the first 3 days were the most intense. If you go through the comments in the group, you'll realize the intensity of it and the breakthroughs that have been had, the highlights and the insights that have come up. So take this time over, Friday afternoon, Saturday and Sunday, just to let everything that you've taken in sink in. You know, you don't need to go and do anything. It's working unconsciously in the back of your mind. And many times during these as well, I've also future paced quite often in some of these. And so you would have already got some of that stuff that you need imprinted into your unconscious mind, and you would be working towards, you know, the person that you need to be able to attract clients. Because after all, you know, and I repeat this in every single live training, this is what we're doing. We are becoming more client attractive. How? Through having the courage to be ourselves. The 3 keys to success are clarity, certainty, and focus. Clarity of who you are as a person, what do you have to deliver, and who you're working with as a client. The certainty is your confidence, okay? Your courage. Is your promise, is what you promise suitable enough to be able to solve their problems? Can you stand on your promise? Is your promise good enough to deliver on? Can you deliver? Okay, all of those things. The focus is the accountability and the staying, having this monomaniacal focus on just one thing instead of trying to spread yourself too thin and getting, what's the word? Distracted by the BSOs, the bright, shiny objects, okay? And it's also being accountable and then taking action. So this whole 10 days has been designed to uncover the first bit, that's the clarity. Then the second bit is the confidence, and then the third bit is the focus bit, okay? And so it's been worked in as a structure. Each day builds on the next, so you have to start off with the first to end up at the 10th. In the next 5 days, we will be taking action on many of the things that we've actually put into place. Now, it is interesting, so I urge you to go back and listen to the audios if you want to as well, and the live group coaching, to get a feel for it and exactly what needs to be done, because we're going to be playing all of this out next week, and we're going to be testing our resolve. We're going to be challenged because we're going to be more visible. That's what this is about. We're going to be client attractive. People will come to us because we are no longer afraid of putting out ourselves, the true person who you were created to be. So I hope that makes sense to you. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I will get back to them. Any insights, share it in the group. If you have any ahas or anything that you would like to add, okay, that could help somebody else, post it as well. All right, I'd love to have this in engaged group. And remember, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So I'd love your feedback. I'd love to know how you are experiencing this whole program, because, you know, I'm taking these things and some of the little goodies, I'm using them as well as testimonials and as ways in which I can showcase this program to other people and say, hey, this is what it is. Would you like to join as well? All right. I want to try and help as many women in the world to become authentically themselves by being courageous, the courage to uncover who you are at your core, so that you can be more client attractive and have a successful business. That is at my heart, at the center of my heart. So take care, ladies. I'm glad to see you online, and I'm really thrilled that you've all joined in this program. Take care, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on Monday morning. Bye.